Hi everyone, this is Dr. Solomon. Welcome to session number 2. The title of the session is Tiered Activities. I just want to take the next 5-10 minutes to introducing you to the session, telling you a little bit about it, and giving you some sort of framework for your assignment. So to introduce tiered activities, today we're going to discuss the first of the many activities and techniques and ideas for differentiating in the classroom. This is going to be a 2-week topic. This week's class is going to be on the concept and knowing the concept tiered activities, and next week's focus is going to be on applying it. So just to give a little bit of background to what tiered activities are and what they refer to, I wanted to refer you to this well-known concept map. I don't know if anyone in the class is familiar with it, but if you see anywhere in any publications on differentiated instruction, this is the map that kind of explains differentiation. And when I see you next in 2 weeks, I'm going to go through this in more detail, but I did want to direct your attention to this part of the concept map and explain that a little bit because it does have implications for this week's content. So basically what this concept map is explaining is what and how you can differentiate in your classroom. And what it's suggesting over here is that you can differentiate according to different types of differences within a student. So the first is readiness. And what readiness refers to generally is the academic readiness. Meaning that if I have students in my classroom who are on different levels of readiness as per the content I plan to teach, some are more advanced, some are more behind, some are right in the middle, but their readiness differs. I can differentiate in my classroom based on that. Now, tiered activities, which we're going to discuss for the next 2 weeks, is based on this exactly. When we have students with different academic levels and are ready for the content that we're going to be teaching on different levels, that is tiered activities is one way of addressing that. So that's readiness. Another thing we can differentiate is interest. You can differentiate your lessons, be there for more students more of the time, which is I think how I explained it to you in our first session when we met online. That is what differentiation is. How can I connect to more students more of the time? One way in which we can differentiate is according to their interests. What interests them? And even if this is not per se reflecting the academic goals of the curriculum, and we're going to discuss this later in the semester, how you can tie their interests into your content, into your goals, to motivate the learning, to lead to increased and better learning, so that essentially is very much tied to learning. Differentiating by interest is very much tied to learning. So that if, for example, I can build in the content, tie it to a student's interest in hiking, in whether it be tennis, crocheting, whatever else interests you in this class, a piano, Big Bang Theory. We have a very eclectic group here. Alternative medicine, classic rock concerts, meditation, singing, fashion, whatever it is. If as a teacher we're aware of those interests and introduce it and tie it in a meaningful way to the content, that has a strong impact on student learning. The last thing is learning profile. That generally refers to learning style. And that reflects whether someone is more of a visual learner, an auditory learner, a kinesthetic learner, a tactile learner, and how we can address the learning in a way that reflects their preferred learning style. And we're going to discuss that as well later on in this semester. But that's this element of this map that I did want you to be familiar with today. And that would lead us into this week's topic, which is tiered activities. So I invite you to visit the rest of session 2, read the articles. There's a video, there's a cartoon, and then Afterwards, you're directed to a couple of activities in which you're asked to apply the knowledge and show your understanding of the content. I know there's a few of you who know what tiered activities are, or at least that's what you indicated on the survey last week. I think it's Alyssa, Eitan, and I think it's Yosef. So if that's the case, you probably don't have to read the first article by Caroline Tomlinson. She is really the big name in differentiated instruction, but in that article, she just basically outlines what tiered activities are. So the rest of the articles probably likely have elements that are of interest to you. So again, if you have any questions, please read through everything. The noted deadlines are on Moodle, but like I said last time, all deadlines for submissions are Sunday night, unless indicated otherwise, and oftentimes discussion posts do have an earlier deadline because I want the opportunity for you to read others and respond in kind. Okay? Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, comments, thoughts. There's an optional forum on Moodle Session 2 for you to share that if it's a question, idea, thought that others might benefit from hearing, and likely they do. And I hope you enjoy this week's learning. Have a great week. I'll be in touch with you throughout the week, and I look forward to connecting again with more content, applying different tiered activities in a practical way, and doing that next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.